I waited to do this video until the next day because I was just absolutely exhausted yesterday after I finally got into the room. Um, the check-in time was supposed to be 3 o'clock. When I went to the window where the check-in was, um, they said that they were completely booked over the weekend, and they didn't have enough time to turn over the rooms. And so, even though I'd had reserved the room for 2 weeks, and I requested a room with, I had reserved a room with a microwave fridge combo, they had not cleaned it yet. So, I mean, I guess the good news is that this hotel does clean the rooms. So, that's a positive thing. Um, so they needed an extra hour and a half. So I had an hour and a half to kill on top of the other time that I had waited. So what could you do? They offered me another room that didn't have a fridge microwave, but I didn't want to have to go into that room for a night and then have to move all my stuff again to have a room with a microwave fridge combo. Um, So, I waited and finally got into the room, uh, unloaded all my, well, not all of it, but most of what I needed to bring in, and let the kitty cat loose and set up her stuff first because, that's the most important thing is making sure she's comfortable. Um, I had, when they told me that I had to wait, I asked them if the room was on the first floor, and they said no, but they could arrange for me to have a first floor room, which I greatly appreciated because I didn't want to have to lug all my stuff upstairs and across, because there are stairs like at the end of the building, and then you have to walk to your room if your room's in the middle or something like that. Because it's a motel, it's not a hotel. Um, and so they gave me a first floor room. It's thankfully in the quiet section of the complex, so that's good. They, I guess, because I don't know, it may have been just due to availability because I did not reserve a room for ADA accessibility. A room for people with wheelchairs or um, but that's what the room is listed as, and consequently, this one is listed as a smoking room. I came in here, I was like, oh no, it's a smoking room. Came in here, it smells fine. It smelled clean. There was no carpet. There's no carpet, which I'm thankful for. And it was supposed to have a queen bed, but it has two double beds, which deal. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. The room's a little smaller than the previous one I had at the other hotel. That's fine. It's lovely. It's nice. A lot nicer than the previous one. A lot more well maintained, and it was clean, which I appreciate. Because the other one was not clean. And the other one was listed as a non-smoking room and reeked of cigarette smoke. So go figure that one. Uh, this one, like I said, it's on the ground floor, so and it's ADA accessible. So the immediate parking spot outside the room is for handicap, for disabled only. So I had to park a little bit further away than I would have normally have liked, but unfortunately, that's just the way it is. And so I lugged all my stuff in here. I set up the kitty cat. I got everything done, and I was just absolutely exhausted by the time I got in here. Thankfully, the room's nice and cool. That's another thing. There is no thermostat. There is a unit on the wall that has like a dial that's not, it has no marking, so you can't really tell where it's set at. And there's a couple of switches. And last night it was just freezing in here. And I mean, that's a unique experience for me because in Florida I'm always hot. And you never can find a place that has enough air conditioning. This place was freezing, absolutely freezing. I couldn't figure out how to turn down the temperature. So I called the front desk this morning and I said, "Oh, look, yeah, I would really. Is there any way to make it a little warmer in here? Because I don't want to, uh, because it's really cold." Um, and I couldn't figure out how to use the thermostat. It turns out there really is not a thermostat, and the very nice young lady at the front counter said, "Well, it's summer, so there's an old system, and it's either hot or cold, and right now we have it set at cold because it's going into summer." I said, "No, no, no. I want air conditioning. I just don't want as much air conditioning. Is there a way to adjust the temperature on the thermostat?" And she says, "No, there's two switches on the wall. One is for off and on, and the other one is for high, medium, or low." So the first thing I did was try to take it down to medium. It was still cold. I took it down to low. It's still way too cold. So I just shut the whole unit off for a while and prayed that it came back on again when I wanted to put it on. So most of the day it has been off. Um, just now I've turned it on and I was like freaking out because I didn't know whether it was actually going to come on or not, but it has come on. I may have to put in a sweater later. We'll see. Uh, but I do have the extra comforter or quilt thing I bought for the other hotel room. On this one, the bedding here was clean. Um, Everything smelled clean. They obviously cleaned it. They gave me plenty of towels. This one has a shower stall instead of a bathtub shower, which I totally enjoy because I'm a Florida girl. I don't anyway, tend to use a bathtub. We just use a shower. So I appreciated that. The water pressure was excellent. The other hotel, the motel was the water pressure was non-existent. So this is great. Um, this is gonna be fine for 2 weeks, more if necessary. We'll see. Oh, and it has a nice big window that the kitty cat can sit on the ledge, and she's been enjoying that quite a bit. It doesn't really. There's not much of a view really. It's just a parking lot and I think some shrubbery beyond that. But she's been enjoying sitting in the window and amusing herself that way. And she's laying here right near, even though there's another bed, which is basically just holding all my stuff right now. She's been sleeping with me on the smaller bed. It's not the king size bed. It's just a double bed. That is fine. Everything, there isn't, the one difficulty is that, there isn't much of a desk, to speak of. It has a TV on like a, well, a console of some sort. It's where on one side I have the cat's food and the other side I had to set up with my laptop earlier because I had a Zoom interview. I had another Zoom interview. I will probably do another video tomorrow talking about the job search. As I've said in a previous video, I've applied for a number of positions. The first one, I had a Zoom interview. Was it a couple days ago? Yes, I guess it was a couple days ago, which it doesn't appear to have led anywhere. I had another Zoom interview this morning for a similar position with another company, and that interview apparently went well. I'll talk all about that kind of interview process tomorrow. but so they let me know that they want to have an in-person interview tomorrow morning, which it's faster than I anticipated. So I'm not exactly prepared. I had to go find something reasonably unwrinkled to wear to an interview. I'm used to, the last job I had was as a cashier, and most of the time I had my hair in a ponytail and under a baseball cap. So I desperately need something done with my hair, but I don't have time to do that now. So I mean, right now it's still damp from the shower, but tomorrow I'm gonna have to figure something out. I did try to make myself look a little less scruffy. But so yeah, there's an in-person interview tomorrow morning, bright and early. I'm gonna have to drive into Pittsburgh proper. I believe the path that Google Maps shows me going through the Fort Pitt tunnel, which I was always looking forward to doing. Not this soon, probably, but I'm not gonna probably be able to enjoy the view because I'm gonna be too nervous about driving the right way and going in the right direction. So I have to get up early tomorrow. The interview is at 8:30. So I have to get up really early and make sure I get there on time and find some place to park because I realized the parking is not that plentiful where this building is. I am spoiled by Florida having parking lots everywhere. I actually had to search for parallel parking videos because it's been ages since I had to parallel park. The I think I had my very first driving test did involve a parallel parking thing, and that was the only time I ever parallel parked. I mean, otherwise, in parking in Florida, there's parking lots, the land of extensive, endless parking lots. Um, so this is gonna be interesting. But we're gonna get it done. I'm gonna get it done. So I would always, it would be helpful if you like to subscribe. I'll tell you more later. Thank you.